Hi there, it's Alexander Rosso, and in this video, obviously the last video we talked about the creatures and dinosaurs that were good for gathering, and I thought before going into like another video showing you how to build something or anything like that, I thought it's better actually if I just show you some good locations to get some of the more uncommon materials, because you're going to now be approaching that point where you need a lot of them, and you need a lot of them quickly, especially metal and cement paste. Um, and up until now, I've shown you how you can get metal from river rocks, but I tell you now, that is a bad way to get your metal. You want to be hitting some metal nodes and rich metal nodes, and you want to be using your Ankylosaurus for this. So let's get started with that. Here I am. If I show you my map, there we go. This, where I am at the moment, is known as Metal Mountain, and so you're looking at about 57, 47, I reckon. So not far off the middle of the map. This mountain here has got the largest amount of sort of close together metal nodes, and a lot of them are like this solid gold color. These ones are known as rich metal nodes, and you'll get a lot more metal out of these than you would these other ones, which are sort of like gold stripes through them, which is a mixture of stone and metal. But there's a lot of these all the way up, and like sort of it's all in the nooks and crannies as you go up this mountain path. Now, sort of take your time to really look around, because there's some rich metal nodes down here, and you sort of follow this path up here all the way around. There's one there up to the sort of the peak, and up the peak you've got loads more all over here. So I suggest having an Argentavis as well to sort of help lift your Ankylosaurus to some of these more difficult to reach areas. So we go down the path here, there's loads here. Basically this entire mountain around the top of it, whoa, okay, has got loads of metal. Now it does have, it's not just metal this place has got, but it's also got, see this? Now you may have noticed things like your spyglass and things like that needed a material called crystal, but you haven't been able to find it. Well, here it is. This is crystal. And it's not a bad area to get some crystal. There's not tons of it here, but there is a little bit. So there's another cluster there. Okay. I believe that's pretty much all the crystal you get from here. Oh no, there's just another cluster here. So if I just gather what you get, and I can show you roughly what I get on my survey. Okay, so yeah, I got about 702 crystal from that, because I've got the stacking mod. So it's not a terrible location, but it's not necessarily the best, but it is the best location for metal. But if you're not often, oh, there is a bit more here. You're not often going to need tons of crystal unless you're starting to make yourself a greenhouse. But if you were planning on making a greenhouse, there is actually a location not far from this metal mountain, which is quite good for your stone. I'm afraid the weather has got really foggy, and hopefully that won't last. But yeah, I'm pointing in the right direction. So, hello, Mr. X. If you carry on going pretty much towards the center of the map, this is going to be really difficult to find in this fog. Oh, there it is. Towards nearly the center of the map, you'll find, to be honest, you can't miss it unless it's foggy, this volcano. Now, the volcano is really good for some resources. So quite often I'll just fly up here and sort of see there's some crystal there, and you got some more metal. So you got like, no, it's not bad for metal run either. Some more crystal, 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 loads of crystals. So this is where I go for my crystal. And actually in the mountain itself, there isn't really anything that wants to kill you except obviously the lava. So if you can fly up here, it's quite a safe place. Yeah, I wonder what this was. Yeah, it's quite a safe place. You may see that door. That actually takes you to the final boss on Ark. So, I mean, you're a long way off of actually fighting him, but just so you know where he is, that's where it is. But you'll see here in this location, it's also particularly good for these shiny black rocks. Now, these shiny black rocks are obsidian. Obsidian is used to make polymer. You'll need polymer for certain crafts. You won't generally need tons of polymer. I can't think of many crafts that need loads of it, but this is where you get it. So this place is particularly good for your crystal and your polymer, and it's got some metal notes which you'll probably want to grab as well. All these things weigh quite a lot, so you may want to bring a few Argentavis here with you to get it. And you'll also find if you use your Ankylosaurus, you'll get a lot more crystal and metal when gathering using him. So I've covered metal, crystal, and obsidian now. I'm going to tell you about, remember I told you earlier that you can get yourself some cement paste. Now, cement paste is actually a craft. You craft it with chitin or keratin mixed with stone. But I said you could actually gather it, and I wasn't lying. So if we try and navigate through this fog, part of me is tempted to reshoot this video, but I've already reshot this video like 3 times now, and twice of that is because of fog. So it doesn't tend to last long. I'm just gonna actually, I'll just go on my map, make sure I'm going the right direction, which I'm not, going the complete opposite. Okay, so actually pretty much where I've started building my little stone base in this series, it's around there is where you gather your cement paste. So, okay, here we go. Here's my stone base, as you can see. So, if we follow this water till it goes to here, where it sort of goes a river inland. This river inland, this area here, and up to where this sort of here shortens, doesn't really go any further than that. But this area here, you'll get beavers, and beavers make beaver dams. There's one here. Now, if you touch a beaver dam, it will make the beavers aggressive, so make sure you have a tame that can protect you and kill these beavers. But so as soon as I touch this, yeah, he's aggressive. But look, we got some cement paste. Now this is actually a bad beaver dam, but and you got some silica pearls in there as well. Because usually you'll get a lot more cement paste than that. And this is generally how I get my cement paste. I'll just hit these beaver dams. Very rarely will I actually get desperate to the point where I decide to make some. Especially if you're on the Ragnarok map, beaver dams, there are a lot more of them, and you get something called giant beaver dams as well, which give you even more cement paste, so you shouldn't need to craft it. But if you do, the way you craft it is, say, with chitin, and you get the chitin from bugs or any creature with horns. Now, this bit of the map here, this is where we spawned in and where we built our little wooden hut. If you follow the water down here to this river, this area here, you can see there's a beaver swimming, a couple of them there. This area here, just around this sort of rock, will sometimes give you some beaver dams as well, just in case that area I showed you first hasn't got any. Look, there's one there. These can give you some as well. Again, that's not a great one, but it is what it is. So that's your cement paste. I said you can craft it with the from bugs. Now, a good place to get bugs will be in the swamp, although I would say it's a dangerous area. But you can get them in here. You quite often get like those mosquito things in here. But there's a lot of other dangerous dinosaurs. And generally my word of advice with the swamp is to try and avoid it if possible. It's easy to get lost in there. And it's just not nice. There are caves on the island and Ragnarok, and to be honest, most maps. And inside these caves, quite often you'll find spiders, scorpions, and centipedes. And these are a great source of chitin. I would go in one of these caves and show you, but something's happened on my island map, and I went in there, and there literally was not a single one. So that's kind of disappointing, though, like the one time you would want to find them. But yeah, say those caves will have your chitin, so they're good ways to get yourself some cement paste. So I've covered now sort of your metal, your crystal, your obsidian, and your cement paste. So we've now got silica pearls and oil. I mentioned both at the same time because they both spawn in roughly the same way. Most oil and silica pearls spawn underwater. Now, I'm going to show you two locations that I quite like for silica pearls. And the reason I'm showing you two is one, I like as soon as you can make scuba gear because it's a lot deeper down and it's just got a huge cluster of silica pearls. And another one is because there's quite a few silica pearls and they're not too deep. So you can get them early on, so before you get scuba gear. And the early on ones are here, just where the sort of by red orb. And as soon as the ice biome really starts, I'll bring it up on my map to show you, just here. It's like little indentation. You'll see these floating bits of snow. And if we actually go under the water here, if I put my gun away, there we go. See these sparkling stones? These are silica pearls. There you go. And they're all over this area, so you don't actually have to go that deep. You can keep going up for oxygen and come back down. You do have a few megalodons, so be careful. I mean, theoretically you can come down here and not get tagged by a megalodon, but just keep your eyes peeled, or better yet, bring a tame to help defend you. So this is, I say, good location for your silica pearls if you haven't got scuba. But I said if you do have scuba, I know a better location for silica pearls because there is a mass of them. Now, when I first started playing Ark, I actually used to think, oh wow, this place is brilliant for a base, and I did used to build bases down there, but it is quite a well-known area, and it's well known for people to try and hide stuff, so I would not recommend building down there because there's a good chance it will get raided. But if you go on your map, around here, I believe it's... Oh, I've gone underwater already. Around the 50 mark. I think it's at literally 1050. I have to put the map away. And if you swim... I'll tell you what, let's make it a bit easier for myself. Oh. If you swim down, I'll put on a load of tech. Because that way I can see a bit better. There we go. If you swim all the way down to the bottom of the ocean, I say you've got to be careful. You'll eventually find, like when you go down in the ocean, you'll find these rocks here. This is oil. So this is sort of where you'll get oil. Generally, near enough anywhere in the sea, if you swim down, you'll find oil nodes. But be warned, the ocean is a dangerous place. So you may want to be careful getting your oil like this. But this is one of the best ways to get it on island. But let's make sure my map, I'm in the right area. Okay, yeah. So I believe it's just over this ridge. Okay. Now, see this area here? It's gone seems to be foggy even underwater, which makes no sense. So yeah, at 40. Sorry, at 5010, you should. It's very difficult to see. Okay, there we go. See that big cave? Now, that's actually it looks quite big, but it's quite easy to miss. An easy way to find it though is because of these sort of 2 silica pearls at the entrance. But if you go in here and then up, this area here, I love it for my silica pearls. There is absolutely tons in here, and there's also a fair bit of crystal. And here's an oil rock. You'll also find these oil rocks like this above ground in, I believe, the snow biome. But I'll be honest with you, I've always just swam under the ocean. Tech helmets are so annoying. Yeah, but there is absolutely masses of these things here. So this is my favourite location for silica pearls. But you have got to be careful because obviously there's a lot of nasty creatures. One way to make sure you're sort of in the roughly the right area, you may find it easier to find. I'm not going to be able to find it now. I'm going to say it. There's a large cave around here as well. There it is. That large cave there will actually take you to a artifact, but that large cave there will help let you know you're in roughly the right area, because you've got the large cave and you've sort of got this cluster over here, and that's where that little cave is, where I like to get my silica pearls and, say, the oil. So that covers crystal, metal, obsidian, oil, and silica pearls. Silica pearls and oil being probably the most hardest to get, I would say, and dangerous. But I've sort of shown you the rough areas where it's best to gather these more difficult materials. So now hopefully you'll know where to find some of these more materials that you've been needing for your crafting of in the upcoming future. So this is going to help us get started with our metal bases, our greenhouses, etc, etc. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Sorry it's been more information rather than actual building, but I felt this would actually help you a lot, and I wish I knew this when I first started these locations instead of spamming in some of the most awful places to get some of these mats. So I hope this helps you out. In my next video, we're going to be upgrading our little crop area for a greenhouse so our crops grow faster, and bear in mind we're upgrading it, we're going to go a little bit bigger, and I'm going to be showing you all the different crops that you can be growing in it and how to do it efficiently. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoy my next video. Please remember to hit that like button and subscribe. This helps me get noticed and therefore helps me to help other people like yourselves. So till next time, take care.